Hi everyone, and welcome back to Healing Gems. Thanks for tuning in. So today we are going to be talking about the power of your imagination and how this can help you in your healing journey. So this is something that keeps popping up, and it's something that a lot of the chronic fatigue courses that are out there talk about in their healing methodologies. But I want to talk about the power of your mind, your imagination. So people say that you can use your imagination and your thoughts and your emotions in order to create healing. So if we look at it from the opposite point of view, first of all, so generally when you've got chronic fatigue, or how you've developed chronic fatigue, is probably developing these neural pathways which are quite sort of maybe negative in thoughts, a low frequency, focusing on the negative of what you don't want, but you're still focusing on what you don't want and these negative thoughts, which means that it becomes your reality. And then when you develop chronic fatigue, obviously the symptoms are strong, they're powerful, they feel awful. So you're concentrating again on what's happening in your reality. You're concentrating on not wanting these symptoms, but how your brain interprets that is that this is what she's focusing on, this is what she's concentrating on. So therefore, I'm going to make this her reality as well. So I know this sounds a little bit complicated and maybe a little bit woo woo, but it's actually to do with like your neural pathways and what you're training your brain to focus on. So the flip side of that could be that, the more we focus on what we do want, then this can shape and change the reality of what we are facing on a day-to-day level. So the brain cannot tell the difference between what is imagined and what is real. If you imagine it, the brain interprets that as it's happening. So if we can imagine bad things happening to us, we're focusing on all like the things we don't want. Oh God, these symptoms feel awful. Our brain obviously, interprets that and makes it our reality. But maybe if we can start focusing on the things that we do want, then that can become our reality. So an analogy that I sort of like heard of, which I thought is really apt for this, is a pothole analogy. So imagine you're on a bike and there is a hole in the road ahead of you. So what most of us do is we concentrate on the pothole, thinking, oh my God, I've got to avoid that pothole. And what you find is you start veering towards that pothole because you're concentrating on it. When really you need to be looking either ahead of that pothole or around the pothole in order to avoid it. Because this has happened to me. You've concentrated on the pothole and you find yourself in it and you've fallen off your bike. So if I'd have concentrated on looking beyond the pothole, then I would have found a way, my brain would have found the way around it. So I'm not suggesting you try that, but this is so common in when you go out on a bike. So taking this concept of chronic fatigue, we need to look beyond the chronic fatigue. We need to look at where we do want to be. We need to look at how we do want to feel in order to change our reality. So people might say, okay, well, I'm just going to say some affirmations and that will change my reality. But if you just sort of sit there and say, I want to feel better, I want to feel good, I want to feel amazing, that is so out of line with how you're feeling right now. It's not, your body just can't accept that, and it's at a completely different frequency to where you want to be. So you're like at a low frequency operating because you're not feeling very well, like you're feeling quite negative, and you're saying all these statements of like, I feel great, I feel wonderful, when you don't. So there's a massive disconnect between the two, and this is why affirmations don't work. So what we need to do is almost like play out stories of how we want to feel and connect emotionally with those stories. It's almost like we need to feel what we would be feeling if we were actually doing what we want to imagine. So for example, I could start to imagine, I'm going on, sticking with the bike analogy, I'm going on this lovely bike ride and I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling so strong, like my legs are pushing on the pedals, and I'm going through the woods and I can feel the sun on my face, and it just feels amazing to be out there. And I'm with my partner and we're laughing and stopping for a picnic, and I'm eating nice food, and I'm drinking, cold water 'cause it's a lovely hot sunny day. And inside, I'm beginning to feel this story. I'm beginning to feel like excited by it. I'm beginning to feel uplifted by it, which is changing all of my body chemistry, and the hormones that my brain is telling my body to pump out is all starting to change. And like this neuroplasticity of changing my thoughts, changing how I'm feeling, is all starting to take place. So obviously, we can't just do this once and expect it to work. It's something we've got to try and do consistently and repetitively, each day. So you might want to set aside, maybe every time you go to the bathroom, you can just sit there and imagine something nice while you're in the toilet, or you can set an alarm on your phone. So every half an hour, maybe every hour, you're going to take 2 minutes and you're going to imagine some scenarios. And these can be real, you might have experienced before in the past, or they can be completely made up in your mind of things that you want to do when you're feeling good. So, maybe write 5 down. So you've got something that you can just quickly go to and, experience. And every time, add on elements. So you're engaging all the senses. So you're seeing what you can hear, what you can feel, what you can see, what you can touch, what you can taste. And the more elements you can bring into this, the more your body gets involved, the more you can uplift yourself and really start to feel good. Like even me sitting here right now doing this, I've started to feel like much lighter. I've started to feel much more like excited, much more calm, much more happy. And so it does work, but it has to be something that you do continuously and on a regular basis, that you need to incorporate into your routine. So, you might not even start feeling any changes for a week, 2 weeks, but stick with it, because you will start to feel, different. And maybe you've got an event coming up that you think, oh, I need to go to that. And, I'd really like to enjoy it rather than struggling my way through it. Start now. Start picturing yourself at the event. Start thinking about what you might be wearing, who's going to be around you, the conversations you're going to have, what you're going to be doing, how you want to feel. And just keep replaying this over and over and over and over and over again. So you can start to make what you're imagining your reality. So again, if you're new to all of this kind of work for chronic fatigue, this might sound far-fetched. When I first heard about it, didn't believe it at all, that this could make a difference in and the way you feel. But you can tell straight away, incorporating this into your story, incorporating these stories into your life, into your imagination, then instantly you start to feel differently. So there's no reason why this can't have a cumulative effect and you start to feel good on a more regular basis. So give it a go. The more you do it, the stronger you're going to build these neural networks, and just be consistent with it. Be consistent, keep going, add new elements into it, really try and feel these emotions. And you can place your hands on your heart if you want to, just to give it that extra kind of touch. Close your eyes, really start to imagine in all your surroundings, how you want to feel, who you're with, what you're wearing, what you're eating, what you're drinking, all of those senses. Bring them in and really start to feel those feelings in your body, and you will start to notice changes over time. And this is, as I said, more than just affirmations. This is bringing in your whole body, your whole senses into this, and really taking where you want to be forward, instead of concentrating on what you don't want in your life. So give it a go, and try it out. You cannot lose anything from this, and it's not going to cost you any money. So what are you waiting for? Go right now, write down a little scenario and replay it in your mind and start to feel good. Okay, that's it for now. See you later. Bye.